Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, and a silver sixpence in her shoe. Let's talk about that.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.
I've never actually looked up where that poem came from. I probably could. It's quite an interesting one because you can do this in so many different ways. And also a lot of the time people forget the last part, which is the silver sixpence in their shoe. I think that's partly because, obviously we don't really have sixpences anymore. So it became a bit of a moot point. My silver sixpence is still stuck in my wedding shoes. I wore it on my wedding day and it was a little bit sticky because basically eBay and Amazon and Etsy and all these places caught on to the fact that silver sixpence was part of the poem. And you can now spend like £5 and buy a silver sixpence. I got one for my wedding and basically when I took it off the card, it was a little bit sticky. I put it in my shoe and it's still stuck into my wedding shoe. But it's quite cute and it's supposed to signify wealth, health and happiness. So we'll go with it because, everyone needs that in their wedding. I always think actually when I find out that someone's engaged, it's a really nice gesture to buy them the silver sixpence as part of their, congratulations, you're engaged. You can get some really nice ones that have the poem written, in a card behind it, and you can then give it to them as a gift for their engagement. So if we go back to the beginning, something old. Sometimes people like to have something that's, maybe their nan or their mum or someone like that had. That could be something like a brooch, a pair of earrings, a tiara, a veil. It could also be a handkerchief is quite a popular one, which can then be sewn into the dress or put into the dress somehow. It is also something you could just have with you at the wedding. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that you are wearing. For example, someone actually gifted me something old on my wedding day and they gave me a picture frame that was like 100 years old. But because she wanted me to have it before the wedding, she bought it to me when I was getting ready. That also made me realize that actually it could be something that you have with you while you're getting ready, or you could have it on the table for the ceremony, something like that as well. Something new for us, we went for our perfumes, and this one, not that you can probably see, but it has our date engraved in it. It is Flower Bomb, Victor and Rolf. This was something that was quite important for me. Someone gave me the idea before, which is that if you get a scent for your wedding day, then every time you wear that scent from that point forwards, you will then be reminded of your wedding day. And actually, I picked this up and put this on because today is our 3-year anniversary. So that was quite a nice thing to do for something new. Obviously, you can also just go with the fact that maybe your dress is new, or probably a lot of what you're wearing would be new. But that for us was something that we wanted to do for our something new. Something borrowed. I borrowed a piece of jewelry from my friend Helen. I borrowed a bracelet that she wore on her wedding day. I wore it for the ceremony. I'm not going to lie, I did take it off directly after the ceremony. I didn't want to lose it. But again, something borrowed could be absolutely anything. Something blue. For my something blue, I had a blue ribbon sewn into my garter. That's probably the most common thing people do for their something blue. I've also seen people stitch a blue rose into their wedding dress, or even just a blue cross I've seen people put into their wedding dress as their something blue, usually on the inside of the bodice. You obviously could have blue flowers, some blue in your earring or your jewelry or something like that. For the girls that wear Converses, they could wear blue socks. No one really sees it under your dress anyway. There's quite a lot of things you could do. Something for me that I thought was really quite personal for people is where they do have a parent or a grandparent that's not with them anymore and they want to have them part of their special day. There's like these beautiful frames you can buy. They're absolutely titchy tiny and you can get them on places like Etsy, probably Amazon and eBay do them. I'm sure there's many places that do them. But basically these frames you can then incorporate onto your flowers, and you can then tie a ribbon onto them, tie them onto your flowers, and then you put a picture of your loved one in the frame and then they come down your aisle with you. It's quite a fun poem to use and think about on your wedding. And actually sometimes I found couples that have not really been that big on having a big wedding. They're having more of an intimate thing and they're kind of like, we're just gonna pop to the registry office and then maybe, have like a little dinner in a pub afterwards, which again is like a completely cute way to get married. I've often brought up that poem to them and said, okay, good, but like, let's take a moment and have a look at this and let's tick all of these boxes so that you have these cute little things that you've done for your wedding day that really just mark that as a symbol and make it just that little bit extra rather than just Oh, well, we're just going to go and sign a bit of paper. Well, yeah, you are, but like, it's actually quite significant and it's quite special. So that's quite a good guide and quite a nice thing on any wedding, any style, any size, any shape to, to follow. And just, it's a good excuse to get new stuff and blue stuff. We'll go with that. Cheese a smile.